Hi, I'm Nicole, and I want to show you how to determine which services and offerings that you can provide a potential client or customer. So, you want to be your own boss, but you have nothing to offer. Here's what services you should offer your clients. In this presentation, I'm going to help you determine which services you should offer your clients. Now would be a good time to take out a pen and paper. You can also jot down notes on your computer if you're on a laptop. First things first, jot down a list. It can be 3, 5, 10 things that you really enjoyed as a child or as a teenager. Try to think about things that really lit you up, like things you were obsessed with, things that um, maybe you were made fun of for enjoying, collecting rocks, petting cats, climbing trees, helping your mom in the kitchen, or yeah, like tending to baby birds, or um, playing on the computer, playing video games, doodling, drawing, coloring, writing letters, singing karaoke. There are lots and lots of examples. Any of those things, strike a chord, write it down. You can also think about things that other people asked you to do for them. So if you were really good in school at taking notes, so if someone was sick, they always knew that you were going to be the best note taker. You were going to be the one who had the most accurate notes. Um, yeah, so factor in all of these things. And when you're done, so I would actually pause this video and do a little brainstorm session. And then when you're done, you can come back and do the next slide. So now you have your one list of all of your things, hobbies, activities you enjoyed as a child. And now you're going to jot down your current interests as well as skills. So make sure to include your soft and hard skills. And what do I mean by that? So hard skills would be like you're an ace at Excel. You love Excel spreadsheets, or you really know how to build Squarespace websites, or you're really good at writing press releases. And then on that same list, your current interests. So maybe things that are really intriguing to you. So maybe you really love learning languages, or reading biographies, or making pasta from scratch. Yeah, again, this is going to be individual to you. I would pause this video and jot down the skills and interests that you currently have. And when you're thinking, if you're having a hard time, again, think about what people come to you for. Think about what comes naturally to you. Think about what you do that seems easy to you, but others are like, what? It took you nothing to do this. So, yeah, it could be, um, yeah, it could be yoga, it could be running, or what else comes very naturally? Let's say for me, what comes naturally to me is communicating, writing, just thinking off the top of my head. But anyway, again, this is for you. So if you want to pause this video, you can now, so that you can jot down some ideas. And when you're ready, come back. So these next two slides are going to be two examples. The first example is going to be a friend of mine. The second example will be actually my personal life. So this is just to give you an idea of how to combine both of your lists. So you have your list from when you're a child, and you have your list from your current situation. And what I want you to do is combine those lists to figure out what kind of services, offers you can provide the world. I firmly 100% believe that everyone has something to offer. Everyone has something that they can monetize online or in person. I tend to focus on how to monetize things online, especially with the current affairs of how the world is working. I think it's much safer uh, to have a presence online and to be able to conduct business online, regardless of what your industry or profession is, because it's future proof. So it's much easier to work from home and to work on vacation or work during a pandemic. So yeah, so the first example is of one of my best friends. She grew up as the clown of the family. She would entertain her family and friends, dressing up in costumes and putting on performances. She got a lot of pleasure out of this. She got a lot of positive feedback from this. And now, in current present times, she's the friend who always has costume parties. And if you're invited over to her house for dinner, it's not uncommon for her to bring out the wigs and the hats and take silly pictures and dance around and music. And it's a very lively sort of, she has a very lively sort of spirit. So that is her skill, or sorry, those are her current interests. She still likes to perform and be the entertainer. And she's kind of the friend that gathers everyone together. When she goes out of town, we're all like, what are we supposed to do? Who do we call? Where do we go? So she's definitely the kind of the ringleader of the group, but the jester as well. She's also trained as a language teacher. So she is from Spain, and she teaches English, and she also teaches Spanish, and she has experience teaching as well as tutoring in both of those languages. So how on earth do you combine these sort of these ideas? So here are some services that I brainstormed. Again, this is going to be very individual to you. And I'll tell you a little bit at the end what you can do if you want to take the next step, or if you're having trouble on your own. I suggest that she could deliver entertaining language learning content online. So she should brand herself as sort of a fun way to learn English or Spanish, or a fun way for children to learn English or Spanish. And she would develop a curriculum for her channel. So it could be on YouTube, or it could also just live on her website, where she teaches language to young children or adults or teenagers. She could also bring that sort of fun energy into language learning, because everyone needs that actually. Language learning is quite boring when you learn it in a school. You're learning about the weather, you're learning about how to go to the post office. These things are not that exciting or thrilling. So if you could sort of make language learning fun for any age, then people would pay any amount to you. Some content that she gives can be free, but other videos can be locked away by joining her Patreon site, or another. This is just a brainstorm. So, and she could have another kind of membership site where people pay a monthly fee, and then they get access to sort of exclusive content. She can also hold paid online courses, workshops, and tutoring sessions. And she can offer workshops to teachers who want to incorporate more engaging content into the curriculum. And of course, she can wear wigs and silly hats during all of her sessions. So the last one is interesting, because a lot of times you think of kind of the most obvious. How do I market my stuff to the most obvious audience? If you're a teacher and you teach children, okay, well, I'm going to try to market to their parents. But what about thinking about creating special content for teachers who also want to learn how to be more engaging with their audience? So there's also different tiers of people that you can create content for, or create workshops for, or create courses for. And yeah, so these things combine her skills and her interests and her love of being a shining star, and kind of sharing her shining light with the world. So the next example is of myself. So when I was young, I think I was around 11 when computers started to become more like people had them in their houses. And I would actually, when I was at my dad's, I would write down web addresses um, on a piece of paper, and then I would take it because he didn't have a computer. I would take it to the library and just look up different websites. Like that was so entertaining for me. I was amazed that there was this other world out there in the ether, so to speak. And shortly after that, I began creating my own Alta Vista websites for no reason, just for fun. And I would play with the colors and the fonts. I don't remember what kind of content I was putting on there, probably nothing very interesting. But I remember being really, really just amazed by the internet and also sort of entranced by the internet. And so coincidentally, I grew up to become a website designer. As a kid, I also really liked writing. I always wrote in my journal. And nowadays, I do writing for other clients as well. So, so my skills are building sites on Squarespace. And when I'm not working, I enjoy writing, meditating, watering my plants, and reading inspiring self-help books. So some of the services that I offer, I build websites. I also tutor other people how to maintain their websites using Squarespace. And I really enjoy working with holistic healers, female business owners. So these are the this is the kind of my niche. And I think I've also been inspired lately to start developing content that's very specific towards that niche. So massage therapists, energetic workers, our energy healers, and mediums and channeling professionals. So anything that's kind of in this realm, because it's actually really, it's also very, it's also very fun for me to be surrounded by this content. So not only am I combining, I'm combining my skill, which is website design, but I'm also combining my interests. So when you offer content or when you offer a service, think about how you can combine both. So just because your skills are in graphic design doesn't mean you only have to work with companies that need graphic design, because that could be soul sucking, right? But if you are a graphic designer for organizations that save dogs, I mean, I don't know how much work you could actually do with that narrow of a niche, but if you work with, nonprofits and you're a graphic designer, then you can sort of combine your interests with your skills, if that makes sense. So another thing I offer is consultations with business owners on best practices online so that they can grow their business online. And I have in the past, I've held paid online courses, workshops, and tutoring sessions. These are in additional things that I can offer. So there is some overlap with my friend, but then again, it's going to be very individualized in terms of what skill you're providing. So the kind of trend now is paid online courses, paid workshops, tutoring sessions, but what that looks like for the individual is very individualized. So it's not just like this one size fits all kind of thing, because it's going to depend on what actual skill you're offering. And so the last thing I want to offer is remember that you can monetize anything. So even if your skill is that you are a pottery maker, you can still you're still able to sell something online, whether it be your actual physical product, or you can do tutoring, or you can offer tips, or YouTube channel, or courses. You can also teach other people how to sell pottery, or how to open their own online store, or just because you're trained in a certain thing, or you've got a certificate or a degree in a certain thing, doesn't mean that's the end be all end all of your skills. You also have your soft skills you have to think about that are also very valuable, as well as skills that you've just sort of picked up along the way. So if you're a mom of three, you're also probably really good at time management and maybe meditating or zoning out, or yeah, maybe you're very intuitive. So there's lots of things that you can contribute you if you're getting stuck with the idea that you don't have like maybe a degree to university, or you don't have some certificate. You definitely have skills. Everyone has skills. Everyone can monetize those skills. And I hope this was helpful. If it was helpful, just write me a note and tell me what kind of things you brainstorm, what kind of skills if you're having trouble. I'm going to send a follow-up email and offer a session with me for a discounted rate so that we can kind of brainstorm together. So you'll walk away from the call with 3 services that you can provide. And yeah, so I hope this was helpful.